Welcome guys. Before we start, I just want to remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment about what you personally think about Ixia, because every time you interact, it really helps the channel grow, and it lets me know what kind of heroes you want to see next. So make sure you drop something down there while we get into this. So today, I played Ixia in solo rank gold lane, and this build right here transformed the entire match into something way smoother than I expected, and I want to take my time talking about each item separately and in depth, explaining why every single piece fits the hero so perfectly, how the stats actually matter, how the passives interact with Ixia's kit, and how all of it combines into a late-game monster that is almost impossible to handle if you position well. Ixia is the kind of marksman that gets stronger the longer she stays alive in fights, and the more consistent her poke becomes. So when I talk about this build, I'm not just listing items, I'm explaining why each one synergizes with the way she moves, pokes, trades, zones, and finishes enemies. Everything starts with Halberd, and honestly, this item is so underrated on Ixia that I need to break it down slowly. Halberd gives you physical attack and attack speed right away, which already boosts your early pressure in lane, letting you poke with harder hits and quicker shots. But the magic is in the Lifebane passive, because Ixia is a hero that loves long trades, constant pokes, repeated harass, and continuous chip damage that forces enemies to back off. And reduced healing completely changes how those enemies respond. They can't regen back to full HP, they can't sustain through your poke, they can't lifesteal as much, they can't rely on their shield stacking or spell vamp. Your early lane becomes way easier because every shot actually sticks. The moment you apply that debuff, every future trade becomes tilted in your favor. And then Punish kicks in, which is perfect for solo rank because so many tanks and fighters love building HP early. You instantly deal more damage to them just because they have higher extra HP. Ixia's passive and abilities already help her break down bulky heroes, but with Halberd, she becomes twice as effective at it. You poke tanks, you poke fighters, you poke bruisers, and they crumble faster than they expect. Then you take Rapid Boots, and this is where your movement becomes extremely comfortable. People underestimate how important movement speed is on Ixia, but in the gold lane especially, your ability to rotate, to dodge, to position around minions, to avoid skill shots, to sidestep ganks, and to control spacing wins the entire early game. Rapid Boots gives a huge amount of movement speed, and even though the passive lowers it for 5 seconds after dealing or taking damage, that doesn't affect the actual moments you need the speed the most. You need the speed when you're not fighting, when you're rotating to mid, when you're going back to lane, when you're dodging a roam gank before they land anything, when you're repositioning for your ultimate, or when you're chasing someone who hasn't hit you yet. The slow reduction is a bonus because gold lane is filled with annoying slows from supports and enemies trying to pressure you. Add the HP regen and suddenly you stay in lane longer, farm faster, and control the wave easily. Rapid Boots is not a flashy item, but it gives you tempo, and tempo is everything for a hero like Ixia who needs room to breathe and move. Then we enter Corrosion Scythe territory, and now Ixia's entire playstyle begins to feel like a machine coming to life. Corrosion Scythe is about turning your basic attacks into a consistent damage engine. The stats alone, physical attack, attack speed, and movement speed, are already great. But the passives are the reason this item fits Ixia better than most marksmen. The Corrosion passive adds extra damage to your basic attacks and provides a slow effect. Even though the slow is halved for ranged heroes, it's still more than enough for Ixia because she just needs small slows to keep enemies inside her poke range or to prevent them from escaping her ult. The stacking slow applies easier when you hit repeatedly, and Ixia is all about hitting repeatedly. The Impulse passive gives you stacking attack speed every time you land basic attacks, meaning the longer you fight, the faster you fire. So when you start poking someone, your rhythm gets smoother, your DPS increases, your ultimate setup becomes easier, and your mobility between shots feels better. Corrosion Scythe turns Ixia into a hero that scales with every second of combat, and when you combine that with Halberd's anti-heal, you become terrifying in extended trades. Then we bring in Sky Piercer, and this is where Ixia turns into a finishing monster. This item gives adaptive attack and movement speed, making your offensive and defensive mobility smoother. But the real impact is the lethality passive. Being able to execute enemies once they drop below a certain HP threshold is incredible on a hero like Ixia, who naturally excels at poking people down and cleaning up low HP targets. When enemy HP gets low, Sky Piercer removes the need for precision. You just need to hit them once. In chaotic fights where multiple heroes are escaping with little HP, Ixia becomes a cleanup machine because the execute effect instantly finishes them off. Then you stack lethality with kills, raising the threshold higher every time. Late game, your execute threshold can become big enough that enemies die even faster than they expect, and this forces them to respect every bit of damage you output. When combined with your long-range beam ultimate, Sky Piercer practically guarantees kills on low HP targets.
I'm coming for ya.
After that, we add Malefic Gun, which amplifies your DPS against everyone, especially tankier enemies. You get physical attack and attack speed, but the physical penetration passive is the true power here. This allows you to melt armor and stay relevant even when the enemy builds defense. Malefic Gun is a must-have when you want your late-game damage to feel sharp and dangerous. The basic attack range increase is amazing for Ixia. Having extra range allows you to poke enemies without stepping into danger. You can hit them before they can hit you. You can farm safer, you can pressure lane without risking your life. The moment people realize your range is longer than theirs, they start playing more scared. And then the movement speed after hitting a target makes your kiting smooth and responsive. You fire, move, fire, move, fire, move, always adjusting your distance perfectly. On a hero like Ixia who relies on distance control, Malefic Gun practically upgrades your entire playstyle. Then we add Rose Gold Meteor to complete the build, and this is your lifesaver. Late game is always dangerous for Marksman because one mistake means instant death. But Rose Gold Meteor gives you a shield and burst of movement speed when your HP drops below 30%. When assassins jump you, when fighters dive you, when burst damage tries to delete you, this item buys you time. The shield gives you enough HP to survive the initial burst. The movement speed lets you flicker away, reposition, kite backward, or escape the danger zone entirely. Even the hybrid defense from Drakenscale helps, especially if the enemy has both physical and magical threats. The lifesteal helps in drawn-out fights where Ixia can heal from her continuous damage output. With this item, you stop being a free kill and become a harder target to execute, which matters a lot in solo rank where enemies love forcing dives. Then finally, we have Flicker, the spell that completes Ixia's entire playstyle. Flicker gives you a second life every fight. It lets you escape dives, dodge key skills, reposition for your ultimate, surprise enemies with an unexpected angle, or simply get out when multiple heroes collapse on you. When you combine Flicker with Rose Gold Meteor, escaping becomes much easier because the shield procs, the movement speed kicks in, and you flicker out of danger before they can follow up. Flicker is the perfect spell on Ixia because she needs space more than anything, and this spell guarantees you have one emergency escape at all times. Altogether, this build turns Ixia into a dangerous, fast, consistent, long-range, execution-heavy, sustain-breaking marksman who can punish mistakes, shred tanks, chase down low HP targets, and survive bursts. You poke them with Halberd anti-heal, you slow them with Corrosion Scythe, you finish them with Sky Piercer, you melt their armor with Malefic Gun, you survive dives with Rose Gold Meteor, you escape or reposition with Flicker. Each item does something crucial, and together they create a version of Ixia that dominates solo rank. Playing Ixia is all about timing and positioning. And honestly, these two things matter more on her than almost any other marksman because she has no dash, no jump, no blink, and no built-in escape. The only real safety tool you have is Flicker, and once it's gone, you are completely exposed. That's why every fight you take, Every step you walk and every angle you hold has to be intentional. Ixia is powerful, but she's a turret with legs. If you stand in the wrong place, you get deleted instantly. If you stand in the right place, you melt everyone. If you've made it until here, you're a true supporter, and I can't thank you enough for all the love and support. I really appreciate every single one of you watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep making content you enjoy. Also, drop the word Ixia in the comments so I know you watched the entire video, because so many of you watch without subscribing, and it always feels amazing to see who the real supporters are. While you're at it, tell me in the comments which hero you want me to play next, because I read all your suggestions and love trying out new heroes. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.